Howdy folks, Tex Grebner here with Tex Grebner Outdoors. Hope you guys are ready for your Tex Grebner Outdoors Saturday morning cartoon awesomeness, because it's Illinois Archery season 2019, week number 9. If you guys want to support the channel in a way beyond simply watching the videos, you can go to TexGrebnerOutdoors.com. Check out the Make It Weird sticker, the Make It Weird shirt, the Life Ain't Like the Pornos, Hunting Ain't Like the TV Show shirt, because by God ain't that the truth, and of course my personal favorite, the Kill with Sticks shirt. I really appreciate everybody that's bought the Tex Grebner Outdoors merchandise. Now, if you guys want a discount on all your trad life supplies, bowstrings, broadheads, arrow shafts, quivers, whatever, you name it. My personal favorites are the reflective arrow wraps and the trophy burr limb bolts that Three Rivers Archery has. If you want a discount on all their products in your shipping, you can go to threeriversarchery.com and use the code of Tex Grebner in your checkout. It shows your support for the channel, gives you a shipping discount. Every little bit helps, all over the place. Also, because we're in the holiday season right now, if you are looking for a reason to start a fitness journey or you need motivation to continue your fitness journey, I strongly recommend that you check out traintohunt.com. Look at their programming. You can also become involved in the Train to Hunt Challenge, the Train to Hunt National Championship, and I hope to see more traditional bow hunters becoming involved this year. I'd really love to meet you guys at a future Train to Hunt National Championship one of these years. So the question on your mind is, did I kill with sticks? You're going to just have to watch the episode and find out how it all shakes out. Wile E. Coyote is my spirit animal, and I bring you the unflinching reality of the Illinois archery season. Back in the timber again, hunting the mythical, magical McKee timber. The grass is always greener on the other side. I'd set this stand in the dark the night before shotgun season was going to start up in Illinois, and now that shotgun season was over with, I was getting into the woods again. Now, I hate to say it, but the season can get real long on you when you get to hunt unsuccessfully as much as I do. And so I was kind of glad to have a little bit of a break where I wasn't sitting in a stand all the time, not seeing anything. Of course, then again, you're not seeing something until you are seeing something, and then you can go from super bored and tired of freaking out over squirrels to holy crap, this might actually happen. Of course, I was pretty proud of myself for how well this stand went up in the dark. Now, just before dusk, right there in the magic hour, there was a small buck that was in the field across the creek. And I had a feeling that they were bedding over there, which is why I'd tried to stay on this side of the creek. Just a little buck, nothing terrible, awesome, but then again, if it's brown, it's down. And I kind of hoped that a deer would make its way to my side of the creek. There's only one problem, and that is a bigger buck got up out of his bed and had chased off the little buck. Now, you may be wondering why I'm not sitting over there. And the truth is that there is a certain etiquette about whitetail hunting. You do not sit in a stand that is not yours. Okay, to hell with it. I'm going to climb down, go across the creek, do a little bit of scouting. Worst case scenario is I blow out a deer. Well, the grass is always greener on the other side. I went across the creek, and short of setting up a camp stool in their bedding area, there is no tree within trad range of their trails. They just cross that open ground. Now, what's amazing is out there in that pasture grass, there haven't been cattle in here for, 8 years that I can remember, but they have got trails cut in that grass as thick as our cow paths on the other side of the fence. So I guess this is going to be my best setup for this property, is wait until they cross the creek and come out of this thicket over here. You may wonder why I'm talking in the stand, and I know it's not necessarily a good thing, but the truth is I just went and tromped around and scouted. So, unless they're crossing the creek, which I know for a fact they do because I saw them do it the other day, I think that that's about as good as I can come up with is this spot right here. I'm so totally not a morning person, and so if I don't stay up, I pretty much won't be up. Of course, I laid in bed and I was so excited about shotgun season being over and that I could get back in the woods deer hunting that by the time that I finally got myself calmed down and ready to go to sleep, even though I'd been in bed for hours, I realized that to hell with it, I might as well just stay awake and go out to the stand. Hell, I got a safety harness. I love the phantasmagoria before dawn where your dreams can still live. And of course, I saw a young buck moving along the ridge top. And I thought, oh hell, this ain't gonna work. He's on my right side instead of my left side. There's no way that I'm gonna be able to swing if he comes down. But then I thought about it, and I realized that the sun was going to be shining on the south side, and that I might as well take a gamble, because I hadn't seen anything else other than the squirrels at this point, and I didn't have anything to lose. It was a cold morning, but the sun was coming up fast, and the leaves were good and soft. I thought about taking my boots off, but luckily the wind was blowing in my face away from where the buck would be bedded at, if he was bedded there, and it was blowing strong enough to cover the sound of my movement. So I made my way up the hill, and I couldn't believe it. When I got to the top of the hill, the buck was there, and he was bedded facing away from me. So playing hopscotch amongst the twigs and branches, I managed to get my way over toward him, never thinking for a second that this was actually going to work out. But of course, because Wile E. Coyote is my spirit animal, my GoPro head cam was basically on its last leg of battery. And I got literally as close to the buck as I possibly could. 6 yards, and the moment of truth was at hand. I couldn't believe this all was coming together, but if you get close enough, your aim will be true enough. And I had often fantasized about hunting a deer inside of 10 yards on the ground, and here I was, strangely calm, and my arrow went exactly where I wanted it to go. I was amazed I'd got that close. And I also didn't even know if the GoPro had captured the action of the stalk yet. The buck went on a death run, and then I heard a crash, and I was so excited. I really hope that this captured. So here's the blood trail that I had before I jumped him out of his bed. Here's what's going on. My shot angle wasn't super great because I had to not hit the tree that was covering up the backside of his vitals. And the angle of the shot, even though I hit right there where I was looking, it didn't get both lungs. So I also followed the blood trail a little bit too excitedly and jumped him out of his deathbed. So right now, I'm on my way back in, hoping to find him. Well, it's getting dark, and I still haven't found that buck. What I should have done right after I hit him was went back down the ridge to my tree stand and just pack stuff up and let him sit, and I would have found him in his first deathbed. But for as many years as I've been deer hunting, that is the closest that I've ever got to a whitetail and be at full draw on the ground. And this is my first actual blood trail that, again, I never really had anybody to teach me beyond, hunter's education way back in the day. And so I got in a hurry. I was just so damn excited. And so I just went ahead and followed up the blood trail. And I jumped him out of his deathbed after he'd coagulated. And he took off on a sprint. And I let him set a little bit longer, and I've come back. And I've been basically searching all afternoon. Like I say, it's getting dark. I don't know what else I can do. I basically grid searched every spot on this property boundary that I can get to. I walked the creek margins to make sure that I couldn't find blood. I checked every deer bed that I could find out here in this grass. Tried to find blood. Nothing. I don't know what I can say for myself, because I do not want to represent traditional bow hunting in a negative light. I take full responsibility for my actions, which is a novelty in this day and age. But I bring you the reality of the Illinois archery season. And there's nothing I can do about it now other than hate myself for yet another mistake. It was a hell of a shot, but the angle was just a little bit wrong, so I didn't get both lungs. Of course, I was also scared I was going to hit the tree, and if he'd been a little bit more broadside, it would have been so damn perfect. But there's nothing I can do about it now other than figure out in the digest book for the game regulations as to whether or not I need to hang my tag on an unrecovered deer. Because I've got nothing but my integrity. And even if I do have to hang my tag on that one, I've still got another buck tag for this year, so I have to call the wardens and find out. I feel a little bit lost. This is the first deer that I ever actually shot through the vitals and actually had the blood trail. And I can't say anything other than that I've done my best. So, I'm going to give it one more try. See what I can come up with on my way out. See if he doubled back. But unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to find him. But by God, it would have been so epic if this had worked out. A harebrained stalk, 6-yard shot on the ground on a bedded whitetail. By God, that would have been great. Well, I'm back home again. It's, well, first of all, I always say that it is yesterday until I've been to bed. So technically, it's now tomorrow's yesterday. You may be asking why I don't get a houndsman with a dog and recover the deer. Answer is, 1, I don't know a houndsman. 2, it probably wouldn't be done for free. And so at this point, I'm basically going to say that that deer is coyote food. But it's not like I made a shitty shot. I'm just pissed at myself for jumping him out of his bed before he was all the way dead, because I was in a hurry and I got excited. And in a really twisted way, seeing as we're dealing with the whitetail curse here, I guess you could look at me not recovering this deer and it becoming coyote food as maybe it's some kind of sacrifice To my coyote brethren, hell, I don't know. I wish this story had a much funner ending, but I can't change it, and at least I didn't lose it because I made a bad shot. Went into the vitals, got a pass through, had great blood. It would have died right there if I'd just let it alone, but I heard it crash and I thought it was done. Okay, so we're getting a little bit radical. I've got a camp stool. I went and pulled some camera mounts. Happy belated Thanksgiving. I'm gonna go down into the grass field and set up because I at least got to do a lot of scouting when I was looking for that deer. I'm basically done with being low impact because while I was searching for that buck the other day, I kicked out so many deer out of this ragweed and grass field that it wasn't even funny. So I figured I'm going to come in here, find a good spot on the ground to sit, and hunt old school on the ground in a classical funnel. Of course, when I was on one end of the field heading to this spot that I was going to set up on, a buck chased a doe down the tractor path between the trees, and I got myself set up, and then I sat there for about 20 minutes, and I was overcome by a wanderlust. I wondered if I could actually put a sneak on him if he locked down with that doe. He'd be busy, she'd be busy, and it was a plan that was just dumb enough to work, which granted, my plans that are just dumb enough to work tend to work out fairly well, all things considered. So the wind was out of the right direction, and I figured instead of waiting on a buck that might come down the trail and hit their hot track, that I'd still hump my way around the trails that they were heading on, and maybe I'd catch them locked down together and be able to get a shot off on the buck. Now, it wasn't a giant, but it was probably an 8-point. Let's put it this way, if you can see their horns from across the field, they're definitely a good deer. But in my case, if it's brown, it's down. So I still hunted my way around the brush and through the ragweed on my way back to my setup, and I know for a fact that I saw the deer run right past this very spot, this gap that I have, and it's thick enough brushed in that I would be good and broken up, theoretically, where I could get a shot. So it's happened once before on this spot that I've seen, which means that there will be more deer taking it at some point. It's really like zeroing a rifle one click at a time, and I know I say that over and over again, but if you can figure out where deer are going to be traveling, and you sit still and you've got the wind right, they'll damn near walk up and introduce themselves to you. And you stick out a hell of a lot less sitting still on the ground than you do up in a tree once the leaves are off. If a buck comes by this spot, he's probably going to have his nose in the dirt, and he's not going to be paying attention when he walks past me. At least in my observations, the deer tend to hug the edge of the brush. So this is pretty much an ideal spot. I have to be aggressive because I don't know if I'm going to be able to hunt this after this season. As far as I'm concerned, even though I know that that deer died, and I know that that deer didn't have a bad death, like a prolonged gut shot kind of death, I'm still not counting this as the whitetail curse broken. I can't do that in good conscience because I don't like a job half done. Sure, I killed it. I wasn't able to recover it. And yes, I'm very ashamed of it. You can do everything right, and then one step, you trip, and it's over. So, unfortunately, the slow descent into madness continues. The whitetail curse goes on. Life ain't like the pornos. Hunting ain't like the TV shows. And I bring you the reality of the Illinois Archery season. So I hope you guys are going to tune in next week for Tex Grebner Outdoors Illinois Archery Season 2019. As always, God bless all my sportsmen of America. Join the NRA to protect our rights. Please got my friends over at threeriversarchery.com. Thank you very much to those who have been involved in law enforcement and those who serve in the military. And thanks for watching Tex Grebner Outdoors.